10, which take... Welcome to our press conference guest, Doctor Who, Sylvester Mccoy.
Oh, that was clever. Very good on live television. Very clever. I specialise in 3 subjects. Start off again.
Yes, what would your specialist subjects be?
I'm not telling you this. Late television, I might discuss that.
Well, I think we've got lots of things that we can discuss at this time of day. I'd like the first question to come from the floor, and I think James has got a question for you. James.
Are you frightened if you play the part of Doctor Who for too long, you'll become typecast?
Am I frightened? Well, I did think about that when I was offered the job, but all the other doctors who've done it haven't suffered from that. So I took that into account. And I'm only doing 7 months of the year, or 5 months, sorry, doing Doctor Who. The other 7 months I'm concentrating on doing totally opposite things, really. So it doesn't happen.
Okay, let's take a telephone call now. Sylvester, if you'd like to pick up your phone. Line 4, and it's David. Hello, David.
Hello.
Hi. Would you like to put your question to Sylvester?
Yeah, I noticed your portrayal of the Doctor is something like Charlie Chaplin. I wondered if he was one of your heroes.
Charlie Chaplin. I do like Charlie Chaplin, but he's not my hero. No, Buster Keaton would be my hero, really. Yeah. And Lorne and Hardy, and people like that. Sarah as well.
Yes, I noticed. Doctor Who at the moment, based on.
I'm trying to base Doctor Who on anybody?
Did I base him on anyone?
Yes.
Well, when I approached, yes, I kind of based him. I looked at the other doctors and thought, who am I like in amongst them, and kind of tried to bring out like Troughton.
Yeah.
I'm very much like him, and I kind of slightly Troughton-esque. But also, it was just one of those things that it's very difficult to talk about what you do playing the part. It's like asking a painter. I always think it ridiculous when someone comes along and stick a painting up and they say, now explain that painting. The guy would have painted the painting if he was able to explain anything. You know, that's his way of... So when I act in a part, I find it very difficult to explain what I'm doing. I just do it. The costume, all the other things make it. And that's what it is. You've got to judge.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed for your call.
That makes sense.
Stephanie's got a question now, sort of going on from what we just heard. Where are you, Stephanie? Stephanie! Ah, that's Stephanie.
Which do you find more difficult, straight acting or comedy parts?
Well, no, I don't. I find them all difficult, really. Not difficult. I enjoy doing both, straight and comedy. And, I mean, I think I'm very lucky to have had that opportunity, because there's a lot of typecasting, to go back to your earlier thing, where people have got very little imagination, who seem to see an actor and say, oh yes, you can just do that, and stick it in that hole. Luckily I've managed to break out of that a lot.
So one not so much harder than the other, but one take more time than the other?
No, just different techniques, really. I mean, or not even techniques. I mean, comedy is I'm lucky, I suppose, to have been born with able to, it's an instinct you have when you do it. And some people cannot do it. There are very great, I mean, I can think of one whose name I won't mention, who I worked with, a great actress who has no sense of comedy at all, but a brilliant actress.
Okay. On to the telephones once again. Who do we have here? Line 3, it's Christopher. Good morning, Christopher.
Hello.
Hi. What's your question to Sylvester?
How much say in your character and costume did you have?
Well, quite a lot, really. The hat, I actually wore it to the interview. I think they gave me the job because they liked the hat. It saved the BBC wardrobe department a lot of money if I came along with the hat. So that was my own hat. When we sat down and discussed it, I wanted a kind of a baggy jacket with lots of pockets, because I thought he'd have lots of paraphernalia. I didn't want to have as loud a costume as the Doctor before, because he's done that one. And I thought I would like a Doctor who could walk down the street, and from a distance you wouldn't really notice how strange he was until he got close up, really. And I had quite a lot of say in that. And in the character, they just gave me the lines and told me to get on with it, so I tried to learn the lines and not bump into the monsters.
Christopher, thank you very much for phoning.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Sometimes I even get the lines right. What do you think?
Kerry's got a question for you. Where's Kerry? Hello.
What made you want to become an actor?
What made me want to become an actor? Well, I was working in the Roundhouse Theatre box office, thinking that was a great job, and someone came in and offered me a job as an actor. He said to me, would you like to be an actor? And I said, oh, that's quite a good idea, have a go at that, and I did.
But why did they approach you in the first place, Sylvester? You
Well-
couldn't have just been sitting there behind the box office and someone...
Well, I
just
used to loon around a lot, and one of the, Brian Murphy, who used to collect the tickets I was selling, and he was a well-known established actor, but in the evenings he got bored when he wasn't working, he'd come in and hang around the theatre and do that. And he thought I was an actor, and I didn't really tell him I wasn't. I didn't tell him I was, but he just thought I was. And this guy, Ken Campbell, came in and said, I'm starting the Ken Campbell Road Show. It's a really mad show in the north of England. Someone's let me down. I need some young person. And Brian said, well, that's the guy in the box office. He's completely out of his head. So he came up to me and said, you know, do you want this job? Yeah, and you want this job? I said, yeah. All right, yeah, come to Manchester. I'm going to change the world.
Another phone call. Good morning, who's on the phone? Hello, line 3, Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay. Hello, what's your question?
Sylvester, when you were a young boy and you used to watch Doctor Who, did you ever dream of becoming him?
Well, I still think of myself as a young boy, but then I'm short-sighted, you see. Yes, I know I never really did. I mean, I was a great fan of Doctor Who, and funnily enough, I wasn't a young boy when I watched it. I was in my 20s. I started watching it when I was in my 20s. I was a great fan from then on in. But when I was a young man, I never thought I'd do it. Aren't I lucky?
Okay. Realisation of an ambition.
Sam,
Thank you for that.
What's your question?
What do your kids feel about Doctor Who?
What are my children? Well, you could ask them, really, because they're around here somewhere, but I think they'd be wildly embarrassed to answer. No.
Are they on here? Joe appeared off over there somewhere.
They've gone to the loo, I think. I don't have nicely timed. I don't know, really. You would have to ask them. At school, my son, I think, doesn't really. He wants to be an ordinary boy in an ordinary school, and I think he finds it a bit mad that people come up and ask me for my autograph. They don't do that to the other dads. I wish they did. I go up and ask every other children's dad for their autograph, just so they know what it's like.
Were they fans of Doctor Who to start with?
No, they weren't. They weren't fans of Doctor. Get off. They weren't. I don't know why I'm holding this piece of plastic. They weren't fans of Doctor Who. They didn't really watch it because it'd come off when they'd got to the A and start to watch it. It wasn't on, and then they got hooked on the A Team. Appalling, dreadful. But anyway, they did, and so they were a bit upset when they thought they were going to have to compete. But luckily, we're going to compete against Coronation Street, so.
Oh, easy peasy.
They didn't watch that very much. Although fights with the mother to try and watch it. Get on.
Have we got any more phone calls?
Yeah, sure. Let's go back to the phone. It's line 5, and now David is on there. He'd like to ask a question. Hello, David.
Hello.
Hello. Would you like to ask your question to Sylvester?
Yes. If you had a working TARDIS, where would you go and why?
If I had a working TARDIS, where would I go and why?
It's absolutely brilliant the way you heard that without picking the phone up.
This is good, isn't it? See how?
Doctor Who.
It's only a prop. It's not real. Yes. Wow. I don't know where I go. Somewhere sunny, perhaps. I'd quite like to go to Africa. I've been lucky enough in my career as an actor to have travelled all over the place. But maybe I'd like to go back in time. I think that's why I wanted to be Doctor Who, because I would really like to go back and see history.
Can I bring Katie here, because she wanted to ask you about going back in time.
Yes.
Well, hang on to the phone. Where's Katie?
Hang on to the phone.
Katie, what was yours?
I'm hanging on to
If
the
you
phone.
could go back in time, which programme would you like to go back to most?
Which programme in history of television would I like to go back to?
Which program or which sort of time in history?
Historical place, or are you talking about on telly?
On telly.
On the telly.
Oh, I thought
Which programme would I like to do on telly?
Maybe not so
Yes, I know. I remember years ago. No one will remember this. There used to be a programme called. It was about people sitting around telling ghost stories. There was Barbara Mullen on it. And as a child, I used to be totally. I loved that. I would like to go back and do that. Tall Story Club, it was called.
What about a period in history, though? Because as a Time Lord...
I quite like to go back to Cromwell's time and see, find out the truth. History is a very kind of. It's, it depends who writes it. Depends how it comes out.
What would you have been?
Well, I quite like the costumes that the Cavaliers wore, but I think mentally I would have been a roundhead. I'd have been a bit of a schizophrenic.
Yes, sitting on the fence.
No. I'd up in the costume, but kind of.
What's it to do
Thank
now,
you very
really?
much indeed for joining us this morning.
Pleasure.
Terrific. Nice to have you along. Thank you very much for the conferences as well. Thank you.
And don't forget to let us know if you'd like somebody to be put on the spot in the press conferences, and you could get the chance to see them and come along and put questions to them. Where are the boys? Simon and Trev, where are you?
Over there.
Over there. God, that was Sylvester Mccoy. Now next week they've got a...